Today, we're opening the book on what looks like a true organizational crisis.
Yeah, this is not just a slump.
No, this goes way beyond that. We're deep diving into the toxic state of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, for weeks now, the losses have been brutal.
Absolute brutal.
And the fan base is, rightfully livid. The demand for massive trades, for coaching changes, it's at a fever pitch.
And that's where we step in. Our mission today is to synthesize all this information that's pouring out from the most credible NHL insiders.
Right.
We're talking about reports cited by people like Darren Dreger, Nick Alberga, and, especially the monumental stuff coming from Elliot Friedman at Sportsnet.
Yeah, that was big.
We want to cut through the noise and figure out what GM, Brad Treliving, and the ownership are actually planning. Because the core unsettling truth is, despite all the chaos, for now, nothing looks like it's about to change.
It's paralysis.
It really is. Organizational paralysis.
Okay, let's unpack that paralysis. Because when a team is failing this spectacularly, inaction, a lot of people see that as malpractice.
Of course.
The first and loudest demand is always a change behind the bench. But our sources, they're telling us the front office is actively resisting that.
That knee-jerk reaction.
Exactly. What are the specific voices inside saying about Coach Craig Berube's immediate future?
They're surprisingly unified in their resistance, which is kind of remarkable given how bad things are.
Right.
Dreger was clear. He said he did not get the sense a coaching change was happening today. Nick Alberga followed that up, noting that, while things can change fast in this league,
Sure, it's the NHL.
the internal preference is to not make a change. They seem to view this as a measure of stability, not a surrender.
And Friedman and Piata said basically the exact same thing.
The exact same sentiment. A coaching change is not coming, at least not in the short term.
So if you're tree living and you have to do something, you need to send a signal to the market, to the players. Where do you find a sacrificial lamb?
Well, you look at the most obvious self-inflicted wound on the ice.
The power play.
The power play. Our sources highlighted that the one move they could make quickly is on the power play coordinator, Mark Kava.
And you can't argue with the numbers there.
You can't. They're indefensible. We're talking 12 goals on 90 attempts. It's historically bad. And honestly, just watching it, it looks even worse.
It looks horrible, disjointed.
So firing him is a low-cost signal that, hey, the organization is at least awake.
That makes sense as a superficial move. But the bigger question about Berube isn't about Kava, right? It's whether Berube himself is the problem.
Exactly.
Which leads to that classic hockey dilemma. Is the coach losing the room, or are the very expensive star players just deciding not to play his system?
That's the $40 million question, isn't it? The argument for firing Berube now, even if his system is sound in theory, is that the players, they've lost the room. Or maybe they're just not bought into his structure anymore.
And if they're not playing the structure, you don't even know if it works.
You don't. You can have the most brilliant defensive system in the world, but if your core guys refuse to execute it, well, it's useless.
So management is thinking that the coach might just be a symptom of a deeper player accountability problem.
Precise.
And if they fire Berube now, they're maybe letting those core players completely off the hook for this failure.
That's the fear. That's the tightrope they're walking.
Rough.
You get to a point where the coach has to go, not because his X's and O's are wrong, but because the messenger has just lost all authority.
And that failure is dragging the whole franchise down.
Exactly. But for now, management is holding firm. It seems like they're determined to exhaust every other option before they make that move.
Okay, let's pivot to the on-ice results that are making this so difficult to watch. The team is described in multiple reports as just lifeless.
Lifeless is the perfect word.
They keep losing. And if you look at the standings, there's basically no hope of making the playoffs right now. This isn't a slump, it's a collapse.
It is. And the psychological weight of that, it's profound. You can see it in Berube himself. This is a veteran coach. He's been through tough spots.
Yeah, he's seen it all.
But when he was asked if he could draw on past experiences to get through this, his reported answer was just. It was devastating. He said, "I don't think I've ever felt like this before."
Wow.
That admission just tells you how deep this failure really goes.
And the numbers, they just scream for accountability from the top guys. We learned that the team's 4 best players are a combined minus 24 over the last 4 games.
Minus 24.
That's not just bad defense. That's a total systemic failure from the guys you count on to be the difference makers.
And it's unsustainable. When your most valuable players, the ones eating up the cap space and the minutes, are hemorrhaging goals like that, a collapse is inevitable.
And we can name names.
Oh, yeah. The reports highlighted William Nylander, who was, electric at the start of the year.
Unbelievable.
He's having a brutal stretch. John Tavares is also going through a pretty bad stretch.
And what's so frustrating is that both of them started the year on fire. Their finishing was, off the charts.
It was astronomical. But now, over the last 10 or 15 games, it's completely dried up. They might be getting chances, but the production has vanished.
And that lack of production ties right back into that big perennial question about this team's identity.
The same old story.
They've always been a reactionary team. They wait, they see what the other guys are doing, and then they try to adjust.
Right, but the whole idea under this management, under Tree Living, was to become a proactive team. The team that dictates the pace, that makes other teams play their style.
And when the top guys fail to do that,
The whole system just falls apart.
so at this level of failure, why isn't the front office making a major move right now?
Which brings us to the real core of the problem, doesn't it?
It does. The contractual shackles, the mess inherited from the past.
This is where it gets really serious. This is where the situation goes beyond coaching and becomes genuinely existential for the franchise. And that report from Elliot Friedman really captured the severity of it all.
What did he say, exactly?
He said that if things do not straighten out, the organization will be forced into existential questions they didn't think they'd have to consider.
Beyond the coach.
Beyond the coach, beyond management, right into the core of their lineup and the overall direction of the team.
Existential questions. I mean,
It's right.
that means breaking up the core four. So if the need is that dire, why are they strapped, as the sources say? Why can't Tree Living just start making trades?
In one word, NMCs, no movement clauses. A ton of the key players have them.
And there's the irony.
The brutal irony. The only players worth trading at this point, the ones who could actually bring back the assets you need to reshape the team, are the ones with these ironclad clauses.
So Tree Living is basically trying to drive a Formula One car, but his hands are taped to the wheel. And we have to be clear, these are contracts the last management team handed out.
That context is absolutely crucial to understanding the paralysis. The last regime handed out full NMCs like candy to get deals done. They gave away all future flexibility.
And now Tree Living is paying the price for it.
He is. And the internal chatter we've heard confirms that frustration. Sources are speculating that if a lot of these guys didn't have NMCs, foundational pieces like Morgan Riley and Mitch Marner, they would have been long gone by now.
So Tree Living knows the house is on fire, but he can't get to the fire hose. He's just stuck.
Exactly. Trading away a minor piece like Max Domi or Nick Robertson isn't going to fix anything.
That's just changing the wallpaper.
Right. The structural problem is entirely with the top guys, the core assets who are underperforming and critically untradeable.
Which brings us back to the central dilemma. If you can't trade the players and you won't fire the coach, what's left? What's the strategy? It sounds like they're just choosing the most painful path.
Yeah.
This tough love approach.
It seems to be the only tool left in the box. The strategy is basically Tree Living and management forcing the players into a corner.
Where they have to figure it out themselves.
Right. They have to realize we're not going to get out of this easy this time. We have to buy into what's happening. They're refusing to bail them out.
But is that a real strategy? Or is it just a slow march to failure? I mean, they need points now. If you force accountability by just losing more, aren't you just guaranteeing you miss the playoffs?
That is the high-stakes gamble they're taking. Management seems to believe this is an effort and accountability problem, not a system problem.
They believe in the coach's system.
They do. Insiders describe Berube's system as very simple. In theory, if the players just do it, they can manage games better, close out wins.
Which is exactly what Tree Living has wanted since he got here.
It aligns perfectly with his whole philosophy. He wants a team that can grind out victories, not just rely on talent.
So the message from the top is, the system works, the coach is capable. If you, the highly paid stars, are failing, the blame is on you.
It's an internal pressure cooker. They're hoping the players finally hold themselves and each other accountable.
And what's the end game of this tough love?
It serves a critical diagnostic purpose. The ultimate test, the only move that brings real clarity, is firing the coach later if things don't improve.
How is that a diagnostic move?
Because if you fire the coach and the results still don't change, then you know you get instant clarity, you will find out that it is the players or it isn't the players.
And that clarity is everything, because that's what True Living would need to go to ownership and say, look, we have to make those massive core-shattering changes in the offseason.
Yes. The coach becomes a sacrificial lamb to prove the toxicity of the core. It validates those existential questions that Friedman was talking about.
So if the team still loses with a new coach, True Living has undeniable proof that he's stuck with a core group that can't win, no matter who's behind the bench.
And that's the only real leverage he has left to convince everyone that the status quo has to be dismantled in the summer.
So here we are, this strange organizational paradox. The team is in a free fall, a visible crisis, but the front office is committed to stability.
For now.
Right. They're choosing this prolonged pain, maybe sacrificing the season, to force the players' hands, knowing that if the players fail, management gets the proof it needs to rip it all down in the summer.
And that really leads to the final question for you, the listener, to think about. Given these contracts, these NMCs, and this awful performance, is management's decision to ride out this atrocious team for the entire year actually the only realistic path they have?
The only way to get to that long-term goal of being a real contender.
They might have to burn the season to the ground just to find out what they really have before they can figure out what to dismantle.
And to build on that, if we know the Leafs have been a playoff team for almost a decade, if the only leverage they have left is this threat of an existential breakdown, what's the breaking point? What specific loss or moment has to happen before those monumental changes, the ones beyond the coach, become absolutely inevitable?
That is the question hanging over Toronto right now.